Have you ever been told that emotions make you weak? That feeling deeply is something to be ashamed of? Society often paints emotions as a flaw, especially in women. But what if I told you that emotions are one of the greatest strengths God has given us? That feeling deeply isn't a weakness, but a divine gift. Today, we're breaking the lie that emotions make you weak and uncovering the powerful truth about a woman's heart. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something every man needs to understand about women's emotions. It is not about complexity, unpredictability, or mystery. It is about value. Women's emotions are not a puzzle to be solved, but a language to be understood. Too often, men assume that when a woman shares her feelings, she is looking for a solution. But the truth is, most of the time, she simply wants to be heard. She wants to know that her emotions matter, that she is valued, and that her feelings are acknowledged. A listening ear is more powerful than 1,000 solutions. We live in a world that sometimes dismisses emotions as weakness. But emotions are not signs of fragility, they are signs of depth, strength, and resilience. A woman's ability to feel deeply allows her to love deeply, to care deeply, and to give selflessly. When a man respects and appreciates this, he becomes not just a better partner, but a better person. Communication is the foundation of every strong relationship. When men remain silent or distant in moments of emotional expression, they create walls instead of bridges. But when they engage in honest and open conversations, they build trust, intimacy, and understanding. There is something powerful about presence. A woman does not need grand gestures or complicated answers. She just needs to know that you are there. A strong shoulder to lean on, a comforting embrace, or even silent companionship can say more than words ever could. And finally, respect and appreciation are the keys to unlocking a meaningful relationship. When a man values a woman's emotions, he tells her, "You matter, your feelings matter, your heart matters." This simple yet profound understanding can transform relationships, marriages, and even lives. So, to every man listening, understand her, listen to her, respect her, and appreciate her, because a woman's emotions are not an obstacle to navigate, they are a gift to cherish. Women's emotions are deep and complex, shaped by a combination of physiological, psychological, and social influences. Many men struggle to understand this because they often approach emotions differently. While men tend to compartmentalize feelings and process them internally, women experience emotions in a more interconnected way, often influenced by relationships, experiences, and even spiritual beliefs. This difference does not mean that one approach is right and the other is wrong. It simply means that men and women are wired differently. Recognizing this truth is essential for fostering strong, meaningful relationships. One of the primary reasons women's emotions run deep is the way they are biologically designed. Hormones such as estrogen and oxytocin play a significant role in emotional responses. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, enhances emotional bonding and empathy, making women more likely to express and process their emotions openly. This is why women may seem more emotionally expressive in relationships, friendships, and even their faith. While men also experience emotions deeply, they are often conditioned to suppress them, which can create misunderstandings between the sexes. Another crucial factor that shapes a woman's emotional depth is her ability to empathize and connect on a profound level. Women are naturally inclined to sense the emotions of others, which is why they often respond with deep compassion and understanding. This emotional depth is a gift, allowing women to nurture, support, and strengthen those around them. Proverbs 31:26 says, "She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue." This verse highlights the value of a woman's emotional insight and wisdom, which comes from her deep understanding of feelings and relationships. A woman's emotions are also shaped by her experiences in the world around her. Society often places high expectations on women, expecting them to be strong yet gentle, independent yet nurturing. These pressures can make their emotions even more complex. A woman's past experiences, childhood, relationships, and even her spiritual journey all contribute to how she processes emotions. For example, a woman who has faced betrayal or disappointment may struggle with trust, not because she is overly sensitive, but because her emotions have been deeply affected by past wounds. Understanding this helps men approach relationships with more patience, grace, and kindness. One of the biggest mistakes men make is assuming that women are too emotional or that their feelings are irrational. The truth is, every emotion a woman experiences has a root cause, whether it is happiness, sadness, frustration, or fear. There is always something deeper behind it. Instead of dismissing these emotions, men should take the time to listen, ask questions, and genuinely seek to understand. James 1:19 gives powerful guidance on this. "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." When a man listens with patience and without judgment, he not only strengthens his relationship, but also honors God's design for love and understanding. Another key aspect of women's emotions is their connection to faith. Women often turn to God in times of emotional distress, seeking comfort and guidance. Prayer, worship, and scripture become sources of strength, allowing them to navigate their emotions with grace. A woman's spiritual connection influences how she loves, forgives, and nurtures those around her. Men who recognize and support this spiritual depth will find that it enhances their relationships, creating a bond built on faith and trust. When a woman expresses her emotions, she is not necessarily looking for solutions. Many men instinctively try to fix problems when their partner is upset, but women often just want to be heard. They want to feel valued and understood, not corrected or dismissed. A simple act of listening without interrupting can make a world of difference. When men practice active listening, nodding, making eye contact, and responding with empathy, it reassures women that their emotions matter. Emotional complexity does not mean unpredictability. While women's emotions may seem to shift quickly, they often have a deep-rooted reason behind them. Men who take the time to understand these emotions will build stronger connections and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Rather than reacting with frustration or confusion, they should approach emotions with patience and love. Women also process emotions through communication. While men may internalize stress or struggle silently, women often need to talk things through. This is why women value conversations about feelings, relationships, and faith. When a man engages in these conversations, even if it is outside his comfort zone, he shows that he values and respects her emotions. This simple effort strengthens trust and deepens the emotional bond between them. Respecting a woman's emotions does not mean always agreeing with her, but it does mean acknowledging her feelings as valid. Emotions are not right or wrong, they are simply human responses to life's circumstances. When men respond with love and patience, they create a safe space where women feel comfortable expressing themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. Understanding women's emotions requires effort, but it is a worthy investment. When men take the time to appreciate the depth of a woman's heart, they unlock a new level of connection, love, and faith. Emotions are not a weakness. They are a reflection of God's design for love, compassion, and understanding. Listening matters more than solving when it comes to understanding women's emotions. Many men, by nature, are problem solvers. When faced with an issue, they instinctively look for a solution, a way to fix the situation and move forward. However, this approach often does not work when dealing with a woman's emotions. Women do not always share their feelings because they want a solution. Often they just want to be heard, understood, and supported. A woman's emotions are deeply connected to her experiences, relationships, and even faith, making listening an essential part of a strong and healthy relationship. One of the biggest frustrations women express is feeling unheard or dismissed. When a woman shares something emotional, she is not necessarily looking for logic or a quick fix. Instead, she is expressing what is in her heart. She wants to know that her emotions matter and that the person she is talking to genuinely cares. When a man immediately jumps to a solution, it can make a woman feel like her emotions are being minimized, as if the issue is something small that can be fixed with a simple answer. But emotions are not problems to be solved. They are experiences to be understood. The Bible gives clear wisdom on the importance of listening with patience and love. James 1:19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." This verse emphasizes the power of listening before responding. Many men feel uncomfortable sitting in a conversation where emotions run high because they do not know what to do, but the truth is, they do not need to do anything. The simple act of listening, being present, and showing empathy is often the most powerful thing they can offer. Women process emotions through communication. Talking through feelings helps them make sense of their experiences and find emotional relief. This is why when a woman is upset, she may want to talk for a long time. It is not about complaining or overthinking, it is about processing. Men, on the other hand, often process emotions internally and may not feel the need to talk as much. This difference can sometimes cause frustration in relationships, but when men understand that talking is a natural way for women to handle emotions, they can approach conversations with more patience and understanding. Active listening plays a crucial role in emotional support. This means truly engaging in the conversation rather than just hearing the words. Nodding, making eye contact, and responding with phrases like "I understand" or "that sounds difficult" shows that a man is not just physically present, but emotionally invested. A woman can tell when someone is just waiting for her to stop talking rather than genuinely listening. The more present and engaged a man is in the conversation, the more comfort a woman feels. Many women struggle with feeling emotionally disconnected in relationships, not because their partner does not love them, but because they do not feel heard. Emotional connection is built through listening, not just words or actions. When a woman feels like she has to fight for attention or that her emotions are dismissed as too much, it can create distance in a relationship. But when a man listens with patience, he creates a space where she feels safe to express herself. This deepens trust and strengthens the bond between them. Jesus himself modeled the power of listening throughout his ministry. He did not just preach, he listened. He heard the cries of the broken, the fears of the weak, and the pain of the hurting. In John 11, when Mary and Martha lost their brother Lazarus, Jesus did not immediately rush to explain God's plan or offer a solution. Instead, John 11:35 simply states, Jesus wept. He shared in their pain, showing them that he understood and cared. This is the kind of listening that makes a difference. Listening that is rooted in love and empathy, not just a need to respond. One of the greatest challenges men face is learning to be comfortable in conversations where emotions are strong. It is natural to want to help, to give advice, or to move past difficult emotions quickly. But true strength comes in the ability to be still, to listen, and to offer support without needing to fix everything. When a woman is upset, she is not asking for perfection, she is asking for presence. Another mistake men often make is trying to explain away emotions with logic. If a woman expresses frustration or sadness, responding with, "You shouldn't feel that way," or "That's not a big deal," can make her feel invalidated. Emotions are not always logical, and they do not need to be. They simply need to be acknowledged. Telling someone how they should or should not feel only creates more frustration. Acknowledging emotions with empathy, saying, "I see that this is really upsetting for you," or "I can understand why you feel that way," helps a woman feel valued and respected. Listening is not just about relationships between men and women. It is a principle that applies to all human interactions. Being a good listener strengthens marriages, friendships, families, and even our relationship with God. When we take time to listen instead of always speaking, we learn more, grow in wisdom, and reflect Christ's love. In relationships, listening is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to show love. It communicates, "You are important to me, your feelings matter. I am here for you." Understanding that listening matters more than solving allows men to build deeper emotional connections with the women in their lives. Women do not need men to fix their emotions. They need men to hear them, support them, and walk alongside them. Listening with love, patience, and presence can transform relationships and reflect the kind of love that God calls us to show one another. Emotions are not weakness. This is one of the biggest misconceptions that both men and women struggle with in today's society. Many people associate strong emotions with vulnerability, and vulnerability is often seen as a sign of weakness. However, in reality, emotions are a sign of strength, depth, and the ability to connect with others on a meaningful level. Women in particular are often judged for being too emotional, when in fact their emotional depth is one of their greatest strengths. Understanding this truth is essential for building healthy relationships, strengthening faith, and fostering true emotional connection. Women experience emotions deeply because they are designed that way. God created women with an incredible ability to nurture, care, and empathize. This emotional depth is not a flaw, it is a gift. When a woman feels emotion strongly, it is a reflection of her passion, her love, and her ability to connect with others. It is this emotional depth that makes women such incredible mothers, wives, friends, and leaders. Instead of seeing emotions as a burden, they should be embraced as a beautiful part of God's design. The Bible consistently highlights the importance of emotions, showing that they are not a sign of weakness, but rather a part of being human. In Ecclesiastes 3:04 it says, "A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance." This verse makes it clear that emotions have a purpose. There are moments in life that require tears just as much as there are moments that require joy. Jesus himself displayed a full range of emotions throughout his ministry. He wept, he rejoiced, he showed compassion, and he felt righteous anger. If Jesus, who was perfect, expressed emotions, then emotions cannot be a sign of weakness. One of the reasons women's emotions are so powerful is that they allow them to form deep and meaningful relationships. A woman's ability to feel deeply means she can love deeply. When a woman cares about someone, she invests her heart fully. This emotional depth allows her to be a source of comfort, encouragement, and support. When men understand this, they begin to see a woman's emotions not as something to be fixed or avoided, but as something to be cherished and respected. Many women struggle with the fear of being labeled as too emotional. Society often teaches that being strong means being unaffected, being tough, and not letting emotions show. But real strength is not about suppressing emotions. It is about handling them with wisdom and grace. True strength is found in the ability to express emotions in a way that honors God, strengthens relationships, and brings healing. Women who embrace their emotions and use them to encourage, inspire, and uplift others are living in the fullness of their God-given design. The connection between faith and emotions is also significant. Many women turn to God in moments of deep emotion, whether it is joy, sadness, frustration, or gratitude. Women often pour out their hearts in prayer, seeking comfort and guidance from the Lord. This emotional connection to God is a powerful thing. In Psalm 34:18, it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." This verse is a reminder that God does not see emotions as weakness. He draws near to those who feel deeply. He does not tell them to be stronger or to stop feeling so much. Instead, he offers comfort and presence. Another important aspect of women's emotions is the ability to empathize. Women often have an incredible ability to sense when someone is hurting, even without words being spoken. This emotional intuition is not a burden, it is a gift from God that allows them to minister to others in ways that logic alone cannot. A kind word, a compassionate hug, or simply sitting with someone in their pain can bring healing in ways that advice or solutions cannot. For men, understanding that emotions are not weakness means learning to appreciate the depth of a woman's heart. Too often, men feel uncomfortable when a woman expresses strong emotions because they do not know how to respond. But the right response is not to shut down, walk away, or dismiss the emotions. The right response is to listen, to be present, and to acknowledge the emotions without judgment. When a man respects a woman's emotions, he communicates that he values her heart and her experiences. Emotions are also a tool for growth. Women who experience strong emotions often develop wisdom, resilience, and a deeper understanding of life. Every emotion, whether joy, sorrow, frustration, or excitement, teaches something valuable. Women who embrace their emotions learn how to navigate life's challenges with grace and perseverance. They learn how to trust God in difficult seasons, how to find strength in their faith, and how to extend love and kindness even in the face of adversity. It is essential to move away from the idea that being emotional means being weak. Some of the strongest, Most influential women in history were those who felt deeply, cared deeply, and loved deeply. Their emotions were not a hindrance, they were the very thing that gave them the strength to change the world around them. When women embrace their emotions as a strength, they walk confidently in their God-given purpose, knowing that their hearts, their compassion, and their love are reflections of His divine nature.